Spring, Arizona. It is 7:12 on your Saturday morning. This is a live look from our South Mountain camera. Clouds headed our way. Oh, don't you wish it looked like this every time you cast your paycheck? Money just rolling in. The pandemic is not helping. People losing jobs, having to stock up on items to make sure you have them. Money doesn't grow on trees, and chances are, I guess, many of us will not win the lottery. But there are many money myths that just might keep you from rolling in the dough. So we asked Steve Seaboyd, author of How Money Works, to give us some ideas that might help us get through this pandemic. So let's start with the pandemic, since so many people are really nervous about money right now. Thank you so much for joining us. And tell us how we can regain our financial footing.
Well, I think probably the number one thing people need to do is learn how money really works. The things we weren't taught in school that we need to know about the basics of personal finance. I mean, personal finance isn't even a class that's required in most high schools or colleges around the country, and we need to know these things.
We definitely do. There are some money myths, I think, that we pick up along the way. You've listed some of them for us, so I'm going to read some real quick. Making money is hard. Money is evil. You need an Ivy League education to become rich. If you fail, move on to the next thing. Money will make you happy. That's a myth. And middle class means you've reached the American dream. Which one do you want to debunk for us the most? Which one do you think is the biggest roadblock for many people?
Probably the idea that making money is hard. I mean, in a capitalistic society like the United States, making money is really about solving people's problems. And the bigger problem you solve, the more money you make. That's really how the free market economy works. So it's really not a difficult thing to do. It's just takes strategy.
We know that there is opportunity during this time to make some money. If we have $500, $1,000, what should we do with that? How can we make that money grow?
I would recommend entrepreneurship, starting a business. Most people that are financially successful, that become financially independent, started a business. Some small business really runs America. A lot of times people think it's big companies, but it's not. It's the small businesses that employ more people than anyone else in this country. So starting a small business based on your interests, your passions, and your experience is a really good idea to put good place to invest that money.
Why did you write this book, and why do you think that we, or some of us, maybe have an issue with money?
Well, my co-author Tom Matthews and I have been around the money business for a long time, and really we just wanted to give the average person a real chance at understanding how money actually works in the real world. This is what the financial companies, the banks don't want you to know, because the less you know about money, the richer they get, and they are very, very rich as a result of our ignorance. So we're trying to educate people. We wrote this book on a 14-year-old level so people would really understand it and then take action and implement the things we suggest. We're
showing pictures of beautiful houses and cars right now. Is this a good time to buy a home?
Well, it depends. I mean, I would say check with your financial professional in your portfolio to see if it's a good time. It may be a good time with low interest rates, but it depends where you are financially. Most people are overstretched. They live above their means in this country, and it's the worst thing you can do. You need to live below your means if you want to be financially successful. And sometimes owning a home is really a liability. It's really not an asset. So you really have to be careful with that.
What's our most untapped resource?
I think our own creativity, really, educating ourselves, and then being creative, again, in a country that really rewards entrepreneurship like no other country in the world, and taking advantage of it and building a financial, storehouse for yourself and your family. All
right, Steve, what is the name of the book and how do we find it?
It's called How Money Works. Stop being a sucker, and you can find it on Amazon.com.
And it was written for a 14-year-old, you said?
Really at the 14-year-old level, because that's where most people are in terms of their financial education.
And then about to make money in 2 years at 16 when they get their first job. So it makes sense.
Exactly.
Steve, thank you so much. I appreciate you, and thanks for sharing your knowledge with us.
Thanks, Jamie.